Hey guys, Richard here with CRG Games, and previously I talked about doing a financial analysis of the 8 set boosters that I opened. Finally got that done, took a little bit, so let's go over the numbers. I bought these boxes on Amazon with Amazon Prime, free shipping. I got them all for $794.64, that's after tax. Now I did have some Amazon credit, had about $150 worth, so I was able to get them a little cheaper, but I included the market price, what it would have cost if I did not have those. This is the breakdown per box, eight boxes, and then breakdown per pack. There are 30 packs per box, and then breakdown per card. Now, this does not include the ad cards. I don't count those at all. I figure they're essentially worthless because they serve no purpose. So the breakdown of the contents in total, I had 3,436 cards, and of that, I had 45 mythics, and pretty simply laid out here. 39 were non-foil, 6 were foil, and then the value, and this is based on TCG market value, just straight market value. So the average non-foil mythics almost $5, and the average foil mythics $7. So this is the total of all the mythics, and then this percentage here is the percentage of total mythics that were foil. So 13% of mythics were foil. Same thing for rares, uncommons, the lands, full art lands, and art cards. So I was actually kind of surprised that I only had 45 mythics in 3,900 cards. But the rares, there were a good bit of rares. But even though I had 226 non-foil and 19 foil, the total value was still less than the mythics. But that's of course because you got things like Agadeem's Awakening, Seagate Restoration. Those bump your values up pretty high. So total of the rares was $180. 8% of those were foil. Uncommons $162, and had almost 1,100 total uncommons. I was very surprised by the foil ratio of uncommons though, but it does make sense because there are less uncommons per pack than there are commons. So this ratio being similar to the rare ratio or closer, I think kind of makes sense, but maybe I need a larger sample size. Commons, a little over 2,000 commons, worth $75. The thing is, they're worth $75 now, but anything could happen in the future that makes some of these commons spike, and then that $75 goes to $100. Doesn't seem like much, but it is value. The full art lands were actually worth more than the commons, but that's to be expected because they're really nice, they're in demand, and of course they're full art. So had a decent amount of foils too. 15% of those were foil. The art cards, I think art cards are overlooked a lot because you get one in every pack, but I think they're still special. There's 81 in this set. I had enough art cards to make 2 complete sets. My buddy has one, and I actually didn't even calculate all the ones that he got. So I don't think I can't remember. I might have. So all the art cards here, I kept all the stamped cards. So this value is high, but it's kind of inflated because most of the art cards are not worth a whole lot. The land art cards are. Some of those are worth $2 to $5, and especially if they're stamped. So you'll see the average price is $2 for the stamped and 38 cents, but the land cards are actually worth a couple bucks. List cards, I got lucky. I got a Nyxalos, Shrine the Nyx, and an Emrakul. So that was probably what, 50 or $60 worth of value there. And the rest of it was, just random stuff that really wasn't worth a whole lot. I got a couple like $8 cards, a few $2 cards and a bunch of less than $1 cards. But $156 is nothing to sneeze at there. Tokens. I did count the tokens and the minigame cards. They're not worth a lot, but the average price of them, the average value was 25 cents, whereas the average value of a common is 3 and 5. Uncommon is 14 and 44. So these are actually worth, on average, in between that of an uncommon and a rare, which again is not bad. It's about the same as a full art land. And then the expeditions, I kind of got lucky there. I got a flooded strand and like a Sea of Clouds, Copperline Gorge. I got some decent cards in there. The average value was $30, which is a little lower than the sealed pack. The sealed expedition packs usually sell for around $40. So that's going to be skewed heavily towards the top, whereas the bottom, you got a pretty good chance of getting an expedition that's $5 to $10. Pathways. Now this is already included in the rares, so this is just an additional little breakdown here. 24 total pathways. Not that many. Out of 240 packs, basically 10% of them had a pathway in them. Now, half of them were extended art, which was nice. I don't think I got any foil that I can remember. And the total value of that was about $100. And these have been ticking up, especially Zendikar Rising and the Kaldheim pathways have been ticking up. So the average market value, this was the total value, $1,334. The average dollar per pack was $5.56. So if you can get packs for around $2.50 to $3, probably closer to $3 to $4. I don't think you can get them for $2.50 anymore. There was a time when you can get a set box for $85, and I regret not buying them then. But the average market value per pack was $5.56. There's total cards counted. So it took me probably about 5 hours to process these cards. That includes opening them, which didn't take all that long. I had myself, my buddy, and his wife. We all kind of worked together on those, so we got them knocked out pretty quick. Since they're all the same set, we sorted them by color as we were opening them. So then when I got to sorting alphabetically, it saved a lot of time. So it took me about 5 hours. I average, and I sell direct on TCG, I average a net return on sales of 67%. So if I sell, $100 worth of cards, on average, I'll get 67% of that. So the average potential profit, if I take 67% of this and then take out my cost, it's about $100, which was a little disappointing, not going to lie. But if I think of it as $99.24 over 5 hours, that's a potential, hourly rate of $19.85. And of course, that assumes you sold them all instantly, which isn't going to happen. These are going to trickle out over time with the higher end cards moving first, which is good because you're going to get some portion of your investment back quicker. And then the stragglers, the commons and uncommons, those are going to stream out, which is going to give you a continuous stream of income over time. And hopefully the cards appreciate over time, so that number can move higher. So the cash back, I factored that in here too, as a little extra, $39.73. That's with my 5% back. If I calculated that in, then I would potentially have $27.80 an hour. So the limiting factor here is how fast can you process the cards and sell them. A lot of cards in the set are going to sell really quick. Pathways, for example, you're going to get $107 roundabout, your investment back relatively quickly, where you're going to get probably from here down, not including full art lands. These have already almost all sold because they're in demand. Art cards, I've sold probably about $10 worth of those. Not anything crazy. List cards, sold probably $20, $30 of those so far. Tokens, Those actually sell really well as well. The minigame cards, not so much, but the actual tokens, those do sell. Expeditions, I haven't sold any of those, only because I've priced them well above market because I kind of don't want to sell them. I like expeditions. I think long term they're going to hold more value, and I have to believe that Wizards isn't going to put expeditions in the list. They're not going to reprint the same art. You're not going to find expeditions, Zendikar expedition or Zendikar Rising expeditions in Commander Legends Battle for Baldur's Gate. I have to think that those aren't going to be reprinted like that. So over time, through natural attrition, where cards get damaged, they get thrown away, they get misplaced, there's going to be less on the market. The collector boosters are already close to $400 a box, so the amount entering the market from those is going to decrease significantly over time. Not in a linear fashion, but in an exponential fashion. As the price of those goes up, significantly less comes into the market from them. What's out there floating around now is going to be largely the supply. I think going forward, what's already out there is already out there. Now the set booster boxes and the draft booster boxes are still out there, so there's probably still a lot of those. Zendikar Rising was heavily printed, and the sales, although stagnant over the last couple of years, due to COVID and all that stuff, were a little bit lower. So I think they're starting to pick up now. Prices are ticking up on draft boxes. I think I was seeing those for about $92 on sale, around $100. The set booster boxes are around 110, although Amazon has been bouncing back and forth between 116 and 111, which I take as supply is dwindling. And as their algorithms see that, they're going to start ratcheting up that price a little bit higher. I could be wrong. That's just my analysis of it. So on 414, all the cards are worth $1,334. I think that's pretty good. If you can get, a discount, you get cash back, or you got, some Amazon credit, you want to use that on product, I think. That's going to lower your cost, and that's going to allow you to turn it back into cash. Zendikar Rising, I think the cards from this set are going to appreciate well over time. The flavor is great. The power is great. And I think, looking back, it was just a little bit weak because of COVID and anything from 2020, really, especially Ikoria. There's a lot of great cards in Ikoria, but there was no way to play in person for a lot of people. So why would they need to buy those cards? Now with the new stuff coming out, the new Tri-lands, I don't want to call them Triomes because they're not. Ikoria had Triomes, and I love my Triomes, so I will stick with that. But this is my financial analysis of the Zendikar Rising set booster boxes. I think it's a pretty good sample size. You could probably, apply these percentages and these amounts to any appreciable amount of boxes if you're opening to find out what you're going to get or what you could expect. And, maybe use that to decide if you want to invest in those boxes to open. You can always sit on them, wait until they appreciate and sell the packs. That's a tried and true method of making a return. I did this because I needed some inventory and I did not have very much of Zendikar Rising. And I like cracking packs. Hope you guys got some good information from this. Hope you can use this. If you have any questions, you can message me in the comments or shoot me an email at crggamesllc@gmail.com. Again, my name is Richard, and I will see you guys on the next one.